Justice League Red, this issue 5, Saladin Ahmed writing with Clayton Henry on the art. So this was a very interesting issue of this, I thought, because it kind of, like, obviously it was cool seeing the team form. I was kind of interested in this weird group of characters that were kind of assembling. They're teasing Red Canaries kind of being a big deal. But I think the last couple issues felt a little bit like they were fine. They were solid enough, but it was very much just Red Tornado saying, "Hey, you have to go after Black Adam." He keeps reiterating this thing over and over again. Oh, I've seen the future. You know, the apocalypse is going to overtake Earth, and it's going to be a string of events that leads there. And it's maybe felt a little bit not repetitive, but it's kind of stuck in the same beat for like a couple of issues. This issue really flipped it on its head by presenting Black Adam after a little bit of fighting, saying, "Hey, that idiot Red Tornado told you to come after me, didn't he? He's been filling your head with lies." And the cover is like Red Tornado and Black Adam playing chess. And it kind of introduced this idea of like, no, Red Tornado's not Red Tornado anymore. He's been taken over by something else, and he has manipulated you onto this. For example, it's kind of funny how you were free to go and be a part of this team, Baz, because your cousin was like set up to be arrested, but you never actually checked if he violated parole. It's almost like some computery type character get into the system and just flagged him as a parole violator. And it just raises this question of like, yeah, how much manipulating is Red Tornado or whatever's controlling Red Tornado has done. So we spent half the issue with Black Adam making his case here, and there's a little bit of fighting still with like Dead Man trying to like jump out at him. He gets into the fight. Black Adam's able to throw him away, and it seems like he's been manipulated by Red Tornado because he gave him a chess piece, a pawn, and that pawn's allowing him to be corporeal and talk to people. Unlike, because we had that question. That was something we were asking before.
Even throughout, because when he first attacks Black Adam, right, he comes from out of nowhere, like, and you just see the hands come out, and Black Adam can hear him, and he's being able to like not fully possess him. Like there's a struggle, and Black Adam fights back, and I was just like, what if this is not Dead Man? And then we find out that the whole pawn thing, and I'm like, okay, so what's up with that? Because Dead Man's always had that curse that the living can't see him. Very, very different circumstances. Like Nanda Parbat, I think Nightwing could, right, as of recently, as long as he was in the gates there. And then so for whatever Red Tornado did to, bypass the curse that Dead Man has, it's definitely making me wonder what the hell's going on with Red Tornado.
Yeah, because I mean, I think part of it is that they imply that he's losing his humanity side, so it's just the computer side left over. But I think Black Adam does clearly imply that some third party has infected him in some way. And the pawn he's been given apparently was his lucky like item before his accident. He actually had used this before. But it makes me wonder if it can bypass a curse. Then it makes me think that the entity that's inside Red Tornado's on that similar level as whatever cursed him. So I'm curious to see where we go with that. But it raises this question of like, do we believe Black Adam rather than Red Tornado? So it's like we're kind of caught between two people who might be playing us. And I think that's added an extra cool layer to this, where I'm like, it's reinvigorated the story, I think, to be like, okay, this has got a bit more juice. Like when it started to feel like it was maybe being a little bit one note, this has kind of jazzed it back up again to being like, oh, okay, all right, now they're trying to question between the two parties who's the bad guy, and we don't want to be pawns, and obviously the symbolism of the pawn being there. We want to try and figure out if we've been played, so let's go back and talk to Red Tornado, which is what they're on their way back to do, on their way. And there's a little bit of bonding here where Baz and Cyborg realize they're from similar, they're both from Detroit or the Detroit area, so there's a little bit of bonding there. Yeah.
And they're both kind of car guys, right? Like Cyborg's always, adjusting things within himself and other things, and we know that Simon has his.
One is a guy who likes cars. The other one's a guy who is effectively a walking car.
Yes, right. And so just that they're bonding on that kind of stuff too. And I was like, oh yeah, I never thought about that. Cyborg and Simon would have a lot in common, outside of the superhero stuff. So yeah, that was a little fun. I also like them talking to Power Girl and how like they've nominated her the leader. because she's the one that's,
Yeah,
taking charge.
Yeah, they ask her. Well, one of them says, "Hey, you make the call, Power Girl," or calls her boss, and she's like, "Wait, why are you calling me boss? Because you're kind of in charge."
Yeah.
And they all look to her to make the decision, and she does clearly decide to go back to confront Red Tornado, and that's where some of the bonding happens. But they get attacked. Like a portal opens up, and a bunch of red entities come out. They're not quite like Red Lantern constructs, but they're kind of like, they're more robotic, but they're in that kind of same vein of like, this is clearly just a bunch of like villains who we're clearly going to win against. Like, these are not going to beat us, and whoever sent them knew they weren't going to beat us. It's just to slow them down or whatever.
It's very funny that they're the color red because they're basically red shirts.
Yeah, yes, they're red shirts effectively. Yeah,
right. But they're also people that they face through these 5 issues. Right, there's those robot creatures from that planet that they went to. It's the Tabernacle of Blood that had Red Canary.
Yeah, one's like that.
It's some of the soldier guys.
Yeah, they're kind of a mix and match.
The dragon creature.
Yeah, the various things they fought. Yeah, no, you're quite right. So when they get back and they're like yelling for Red Tornado, like they're obviously at this point they're mad. They want to talk to him and get answers for what's going on. So they're like, hey, like, so whatever these things were built out of the same sort of material that Red Tornado has. And notably, when Red Tornado starts talking to them, it's in these bubbles that are kind of different, and they're kind of on their own, kind of giving you that sense of like the omnipotent like voice, like the AI that's taking control of the station. And it reveals that he's now the Crimson Cloud, and it's just like 2 sort of lights, little like eyes, and a lot of red cubes that vaguely make a head. But it's very, very daunting. It looks kind of evil. So I guess the question I would have now, I get that they've just come to confront him here, so they've maybe not had the chance to do it yet. But surely in the next issue, the question of why wouldn't we just go tell the Justice League this now?
Right.
Is worth contemplating, right? So
for sure. Well, and just the fact too that the Crimson Cloud, Red Tornado, that type of thing. It's almost like him spreading himself too thin, becoming the like kind of control system for the Watchtower. This Red Tornado I'm talking about. It's left him open for a takeover of this, and it's almost like the idea of the Cloud being this disconnected from humanity. So I almost wonder if they have to redo a body for him. Like that's why they're not going to go to the Justice League, because they need to save Red Tornado and essentially talk him down and restore that piece of humanity to him.
Yeah, I think it may just be more of a physical.
He's in everything.
It could be more of a physical thing though, where they're just trapped on this station next issue and they can't get out, or that's what the issue's about, is because Crimson Cloud is now going to try and, maybe not kill them, but keep them trapped, try and manipulate them more, whatever it is, and they have to fight back. We could have like a sort of like battle against an AI opponent kind of thing next issue. But that's interesting. So yeah, and in Black Adam's the way he normally is, where he's like, yes, I knew you were coming, and yes, I could be consuming worlds to becoming more powerful. I could take on the entire Justice League, but that's not what's happening here. You've been fooled.
I don't want to. Yeah, and him talking about that thing, the what was it called? The ritual. He's like, no, that's for like the dredge of worlds. That would require destroying the Earth, and I kind of like living on the Earth. So why would I do that?
But this is home.
I like that was his reasoning.
Yes, I will do anything to protect Kandak, and Kandak is on Earth. Therefore, Earth is off the table for destruction. Thank you very much.
Yep. And yeah, so I did like that. I liked it. It flipped over the idea of Black Adam being this big bad guy with the kryptonite sword and that the wand of Anubis or whatever it was. And he's just kind of like, y'all are being played. I'll put these away now. But I was like, but you still have them. Like, I love. He's like, this man carries a kryptonite sword, guys. We're gonna let this stand. But yeah.
Yeah, I like that they're
pretty decent issue. Not at all what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I like that they're forming into a team by appointing a leader and feeling more like they're getting to know each other. Like, but that's like separate from Red Tornado putting them together. I almost like the idea that they're going to form into a real team, and that's what's going to actually defeat Red Tornado. Is that they've actually become a team as opposed to just an assortment of characters that he's trying to manipulate. So I like that side of it. Yeah. So no, this is probably my favorite issue of this since like the first couple. So I think it really. Was the shot in the arm to kind of spice it up, which was quite nice. So, and maybe that was just a case of they had to hold off on this reveal until now. But I think a lot of the more interesting ideas are coming out of the book now via this issue. So No, please with it. Clayton Henry art is still Clayton Henry art. I don't feel passionate by it by any means.
No, I do like the space action sequence though. I think a lot of the direction he gives the people, there's a lot of motion and fluidity. Like the way that he draws Power Girl flying through there, her hair's kind of all over the place, her cape's all over. There's that one where Baz is taking out the dragon there, and she's doing like a looping dive. Power Girl is, and so I think that stuff looks really good. Kind of when they're all kind of standing around talking, it's not to his strengths, and that's kind of the whole.
That's what we've
first
said.
Part.
Yeah,
of the issue
with Henry is that he's good at layouts and action and like momentum, but he's like standing around talking scenes always kind of suffer from not being. His faces just don't have the level of I guess details the word I'll use. Even though sometimes like that feels like a bad word to use though, because I feel like some artists are good at having less detail but being more expressive. So it's not necessarily always a detail issue, but in this case, that's how it makes me feel. It feels like it's lacking like detail. It's too clean. Yeah,
his kind of faces look a lot of like, you can tell there's the expressions there, but they're not as strong as they could be. Like I'm looking at some of the ones like with Power Girl where she's side-eyeing Simon and Simon's off panel. Like that's not as clear. Like she's side-eyeing, but her face is kind of blank. So yeah, it gets the point across, but it could be better. Yeah. But yeah. And then what's funny is the Crimson Cloud has no face. So it'll probably be the most expressive, in the next issue.
Oh, maybe in that way he's perfect for this book because we're doing something that doesn't quite exactly have a face.
Look, I know you're not a big fan of Tron, but I want to see the Crimson Cloud as the Master Control program. Like it's the Red Tornado. Give me that swooping tornado-esque kind of look.
But it's all made of cubes.
It's just a face. Yeah, it could be, but yeah, give me that kind of look. I would like. But yeah, not expecting this to be a story kind of that gets into Red Tornado's humanity, because that was the first story that I ever really read for Red Tornado, was that Brad Meltzer Justice League run that gets into Red Tornado becoming a human, and like, is he still the Red Tornado? Because isn't he just an android? And here now it's that humanity is gone because he has no grounding, right? He is just the computer, and now it's almost like, and again, it could be because of people manipulating whatever, a different entity or whatever, but him without that grounding, he becomes something else, and that something else here is the Crimson Cloud. So I really like that through line. I wasn't not expecting that from this, because I remember when this book was announced, we just thought, oh, they all kind of wear red except for Simon. I guess that's why they're Justice League red, but there's more of that Red Tornado vibe going on here. So.
And will this, if there is a third party infecting him, then is that also a red villain? Like, is that going to be a red outfit, or I mean, hell, it could be an alien. It may just be all red, but like questions abound. So no, I'm still very curious to see where this is going, and it's fun kind of unwrapping it a little bit. And the more they feel like a real team, the more I'm probably going to get invested in them as characters. So what are you giving Just League Red, Matt?
It was a straight 7.
Yeah, I think I'm happy to go with 7.5 on this one. I think I'm only going to call it great just because the art's still Clayton Henry, and that doesn't wow me as such. But I think this issue definitely injected like a really cool story element into it, and I'm intrigued a bit more so again.